Land Geek Nation, we're live. What's up, Tony Soprano?
What's up, bear guy? Is that a bear shirt? A bear's hat?
It's a Cubs hat, Chicago Cubs. Yep,
That's like a bear.
it's like a bear. It's like a bear.
Yeah,
So, what's up, Mike Zano?
not too much. But I am digging your new office. I don't know if anybody. I mean, I'm sure our consistent viewers notice a little difference in your background there. What's
Yeah,
going
we're
on, Scott Bossman?
we're doing an office renovation here. So it's about two-thirds of the way done. Gonna have a nice little backdrop. I got a new kind of computer station with another monitor, which I've been craving. So
Nice.
and I just had kind of a lot of junk in here. I'm going to downsize and minimalize and just make things look nicer. So
All right, loving it, loving it.
thank you. Good to be here. The people are rolling in
They're rolling in
ever
by
so
are they
slowly,
rolling in by the dozens?
ever so slowly. I don't know.
By the dozens?
Hopefully we are live. If someone could maybe throw a comment in the chat and let us know if we're live on YouTube. Let us know if we're live on Facebook.
And let us know how much you love our new time slot.
And let us know if you like the 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time slot.
I know he
Um,
likes it. This guy.
let us know how the sound is.
Yeah.
Let us know how my lighting is. Now I look a little, not, I got the shadow going on with my cap, so that's not good.
No, I don't really see it. No, I
All
think
right.
you're overthinking it. You're looking good.
All right. Okay. But I can look what I can do with my new fancy Scott Todd lights now. See, I can change the brightness, or not the
Wow.
brightness, the hue. I can change the brightness. Huh?
I see. I see.
Yeah.
We need to get that thing he has with a screen picture in picture.
Yes. He's
We
fancy.
could say, because then you can go like in this week's Facebook comment, blip, and it'll show up on there. Like that'll be awesome.
Jesse Otterblad, thank you. He let us know that we are in fact live on YouTube, and I'd better check. I can check Facebook as well. But Mike Zano, we should tell people who we are. Why are we here? What are we
Well,
doing?
we're here because we like to drink alcohol. Uh, and we figured we let you all join us. No, so that's partially true. No lie there. But we also are land investors. We're part of the Land Geek, and this is a business that can literally change your life. You don't need a ton of money. You don't need a ton of capital. You just need a bit of commitment, right, and desire. And you got to have what my buddy Bossman calls stick-to-itiveness. You got to stick to it, and there are going to be times where it gets difficult. You know, you may not have the best mailer. You may run into a problem property. You may not be having a great success with posting ads on Facebook or Craigslist. But guess what? If you persevere, there's a nice pot of gold in that rainbow.
Right. It's very true. So I'm just checking our streaming here. It looks like we're not live in the Facebook group, which might
Whoa.
might be an issue. We're live on Mark's.
I'd say at least 10% of our viewers come there, maybe 20.
We're live on Mark's page.
Oh, that's why we're not in the group. I don't think we can
Uh,
do both.
well, no, we typically do both every week. We're typically going in both. So I'm
So,
not
there's a
quite
way for us to
sure.
share the content. Can we do
That's what I'm
that?
trying to do right now. I'm trying to share, see if that works.
All right.
See if the sharing works. But anyway, for the folks who are tuning in, Mike Zano said it nail on the head there. Uh, but most importantly, or importantly, I should say, we're here to celebrate some wins. We love to hear about your wins. Jesse Otterblad, I know you're doing deals like crazy, so we'd love to hear about any deals you're doing. And we'd love to hear about any challenges you're
I'd like to
having.
celebrate the struggles too,
Yeah,
because, you know, it's not always pie in the sky. It's not always smooth sailing. This is a business and it's going to have, like I just referred to a few minutes ago, ups and downs. But if you're in it and you're committed and you're in a struggle, but you're staying the course and you're doing the right things, I want to celebrate that because that will lead you to the inevitable success in this business. I can't tell you Scott, and you could tell the same thing. How many times we have people struggle, 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 and then boom, success, and then another success. It just, but you could be on the cusp of a huge deal or a huge success that would change everything for you, and then you could just like stop prior to that, right? That's true. That's real. So you need to have stick to itiveness. You need to have the perseverance. You need to embrace the struggle, embrace the suck, and realize that it's part of the process, part of your journey. I think that's important. So we celebrate wins. Let's celebrate the struggle tonight, Scott.
Let's celebrate the struggle. Let's, you know what book I'm reading, Mike? I just picked up tonight, and I'm about halfway through it already. Check this out.
Halfway through it already. Is it a short book?
It's a short book,
Well,
but
you're a fast reader.
this plays well into the conversation we're having.
Chopwood, yeah, I love that.
Have you read it?
That's a great Zen quote, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chop wood, carry water.
talk about
Uh,
it.
Phil, what's his name? The coach for the Chicago Bulls used to say that to the Bulls team all the time. Chop wood, carry water. But what in the dips in the land business, which we all experience, right?
Yeah,
It's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to compare yourself to others who are having success in the business. We've all done it.
yeah,
It's easy to feel down when you're in a slump. Jesse just
yeah,
mentioned he had a little bit of a sales slump recently. We've all experienced that, right? But really, when it comes down to it, the most important parts of this business, if you can take the emotion out of it and just go uh, perform the duties, are mailing and marketing, right? So all the other emotions, they're going to maybe cause some anxiety at times. You're going to
yeah,
feel like you're not moving forward. But if you could just make it a point to chop wood and carry water in the land business every single day, and in my mind, the two things in the land business you need to do
yeah.
every single day are mailing and marketing.
That book, we should write that a version of that book just called Mailing and Marketing.
Yeah,
That's true. Stick to it, and it's gonna change everything for you eventually. But there are going to be some dips. There are going to be those struggles, and I think we should celebrate those. That's what makes success so sweet, is that you are not one of the people that stopped. You are not the person who quit. You are not the person who stopped just before that big deal came. You pushed and you just persevered and you kept going. So we need to celebrate the struggle. 100%.
100%. And Jesse Otterblad is celebrating the struggle. He said after a bit of a sales slump, he sold one property last week and two today.
There you go. I mean, look at things go like this, right? The economy, the markets, everything, right? So that's a natural occurrence, right? And just have to embrace it. I was listening to, I'm starting to really love this guy, Michael Saylor. You and I
Yeah.
were talking about him. And let me see if I got this right. What kind of, he mentions it in the first one. You remember what kind, it was called the Nautilus. Do you remember what he said? I don't even know if the right word is, it's not an animal, but it's
Well, it's a
a
seashell.
species,
It is an
seashell.
animal, right?
Right. And it basically grows. It uses its own shell to keep growing. And so basically, the idea, if you take away from this, and there's a famous poem about this as well, but you're building upon yourself. Like you're using your own self to create growth and progress, and you just keep going forward, right? And you become a better version of yourself every day, and that's part of this business. Like so, you take the action, and that's why I always say, like, doesn't matter if you made a horrible mailing. I'd rather have you do that than no mailing because yeah, I can correct a mistake, but I can't correct nothing, right?
Right.
Can't correct inaction. But if you're taking the action, we can tweak it, we can change it, we can correct it, and we can promise you, literally promise you that if you keep doing that, you're going to get deals because it's nothing special about me. Sorry, Scott, nothing special about you. There's
Nope.
nothing special when it comes to, well, I mean, you're special, but not in terms of the land business, I mean. There's nothing special about us that other than we stick to it and we continue to mail and eventually buy properties. We continue to market. We continue to eventually sell properties.
And I would say one other thing, uh, I hang out with you, and that makes me do more deals.
Same here. Dude, absolutely. Talking to you about, what's going on and, having that accountability of each other where we talk, that's huge. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's so much success in the flight school training. Forget the name flight school, the idea of a 4-month journey with a mentor who's going to hold you accountable, right? Shall we bring up? Tell me about the cocktail party analogy. Just tell me. I love that.
Oh, the cocktail party analogy? Well, you came up with it. You should tell it.
Yeah, but no, no, no. We talk about it. Come on, you go.
All right. So yeah, so the cocktail party analogy. We all know all you gotta do is Google Scott Todd, and you're gonna see that he's a successful land investor, right? He was a successful businessman before he started land investing, but he's only been doing this 7 years, and Scott is an expert. He is what we all aspire to be. He runs his land business an hour a week, right? He spends an hour a week in his land business. He's, I mean, money wise, let's just say that he's bringing in more in 7 months or in 7 years that you could hope to bring in a new. It's essentially a new business. It didn't start that long ago.
Right.
He just started a new business. The guy is an expert. So the analogy is, if you met a gentleman like this at a party, and you find out he works a half an hour a week in his land business and he makes set amount of money a month passively, and it doesn't even count his land, it doesn't even count his cash deals,
Right.
right? And he's working a half hour a week in his land business. Would you not want to invest yourself, your money, your time uh, in learning from that expert?
Yeah, you'd be struggling to say, Scott, could you show me what you do? I mean, I'll pay you. Can you show me what you do? I mean, you'd want that. There's nobody listening to this would, if you had just met a guy at a cocktail party and you realized the power, you would want to mentor into him. That's the power of accountability. That's when Scott, you were just saying, you talk to me, I talk to you. That accountability is huge. And not only is there accountability when you work with Scott Todd, there's also a very specific recipe that he shows you. It's very transparent. He shows you exactly how he does what he does. You couldn't ask for a better mentor in this business. So I just wanted to bring that up because you're talking about accountability. You're talking about us talking about things, and I believe that. I believe in that. Really makes me a better land investor. So it's
Yeah.
something that needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah, you surround yourself with the best, with the expert sensei, right?
Chop wood, carry water.
That's what he
Chop chop.
is. So a couple comments. Dan Nelson is here. What's up, Dan? Nice to see
What
you.
up, Dan?
Um, John Geeky is here. Mike, John got the toolkit. Uh, Despite the issue I have, I just can't wait and still plan on doing flight school. And that's great, John. We're ready when you're ready. The next flight school starts December 15th here in a couple weeks.
Right.
The one after that starts January 25th. And it really is just taking it to a new level with that program. So,
John, you should text one of us. There's something you might want to know about the next flight school, and it ends tomorrow. So what we're talking about. So you might just want to reach out to one of us. I'll leave it at that.
awesome. Thanks. Chad Stewie, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I got it.
He has three comments or questions. First one is, Mike, most
Uh-oh.
importantly,
Yeah.
what's your nightcap preference tonight? What are you drinking?
I know. Thank you for bringing that up. So, it's an interesting night. I started off with a little whiskey, but then I went over to saw my neighbor and I wanted to have a little beer. So, we have a whole case of pumpkin beer left. And so I
Ah,
asked Laura to put a little vanilla shot in there. No caramel rim, but the vanilla shot and some beer. And it's all good. How about you, Scott?
nice. Whiskey before beer, never fear.
That's right.
So I have a straight a straight rye whiskey out of La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Dude, that looks awesome. What is that, a
It's
wolf?
it's only 3 years aged, but it's a lamb with a wolf's face.
All right. What's it
Kind of
called?
interesting.
Robbers?
Robbers.
What
Straight
would you
rye
compare
whiskey.
that to?
What's that?
What would you compare that to?
You know what? What I compare it to? I don't know. I mean, it's a smooth rye whiskey for 101 proof. It's very smooth, and it's only aged 3 years, so it's not aged very long. But it's going down smooth right now and leaving a nice warmth. So
Love it. I love it.
yeah, so that's what I'm drinking tonight. I thought I'd go local. They don't you love when you go to the liquor store and they're handing out samples?
Yes, yes. But
So
wait,
I
I
had
want to
it
go back because we have different sayings in different areas of the country. What did you say about my beer before my whiskey and whiskey before beer? What was the way you said it? Because I'll tell you how we say it.
whiskey before beer, never fear. Beer before liquor, never sicker.
All right, we say liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer
Okay,
before liquor, get quick sicker. Get quick sicker.
get quick sicker. Okay,
Get sick quicker. Get sick
there you go.
quicker.
Get sick quicker. Of
Liquor
course, you guys
before
are gonna.
beer,
Of course, you
you're in
guys
the
are gonna add a lot more
clear.
consonants and R's than are needed in that
Yeah, liquor
saying.
before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, get quick. Get sick quicker.
Get sick quicker. All right.
I
All right.
love it.
Well, despite the geographic variability in our dialect, um,
It is a
we're on the same
dialect.
page,
It
so that's
really is
good.
a dialect. It is a dialect. What a great way to put it. It is a dialect.
Chad says, okay, so he got two county lists today, and you're right, both are very different. First one was a clear Excel spreadsheet, and the other one was a .txt file and 20
Mm.
other files, which brings up his main question at stage one. Uh, I would assume, well, what's your main question at stage one, Chad? Oh, there it is. What VA site is best for list scrub? Is it Fiverr? But I would go back. You know what Mark likes to say, right? Um,
The
that's a
question you should
that's
have
a
asked?
that's a great question. But here's the question I think you should have asked,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Um, and that is, uh, what's the best type of list first, right? And
Mm.
Excel spreadsheet, we love those lists. But Mike, in this day and age, now 6 years ago may have been a little bit different.
Yeah.
6 years ago, I may have tried to, navigate the waters with the TXT
Frankenstein.
file or with the CD, which some counties are still sending out, by the way,
Yeah, I've had CDs. Yeah.
or the text files, which you can't make any sense of whatsoever. But to me, there are really two easy ways to get a list, and I know that you complete me here, but you want to complete me?
Well, the two
Two
easiest ways that I
two easiest.
one is I would subscribe to a service, right, that would do it for me. Um, and the other one, I would hire a VA to screen scrape. Now,
Yeah,
here's the thing. Whatever you do is going to cost money.
yeah,
Okay, you go buy a list from the county, it's going to cost money. If the county gives you a list that's not in the correct format, it's going to cost you money to correct that. Have someone go scrub list for you or screen scrape where they go to the county, they pull the data, you're going to pay a VA, use a service. So do it yourself. It's still costing you. Do not fool yourself because you have an intrinsic value to your time. And I would tell you that is the highest cost, your time, absolutely without a doubt. So I would either use a service like DataTree or I would go and have someone do some screen scraping for me or something like that. But there should be no obstacle to getting a list right now. There's too many ways to do that.
yeah. So then the next instance is, um, what VA site would be best for maybe finding a list scrubber, Mike, or somebody that could maybe
Upwork.
do some screen scraping for you, that type of thing.
Upwork.com. You're looking for a data entry person, about $4 or $5 an hour, and you'll find a ton of people.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome. Awesome.
David Johnson. Nice to see you, David. Is it difficult to back out of purchase agreements? I
Negative.
think I have been offering too much in my more recent mailings.
No, because the letters we send out basically say, for all intents and purposes, for whatever reason, we don't have to, and they're not even signed when we send them out. Think about that.
Yeah, it says right on the language on our offer says the deal is pending our due diligence. So
Yeah.
if our due diligence doesn't come up clean, if
That
we've,
means for whatever reason you don't like it, you're out.
yeah, maybe we did offer way too much. And
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
a conversation with that seller, you just can't talk them down. Unless you're Mike Zano. If you're Mike Zano, you can talk them down,
Not
Uh,
always. Sometimes. Not always.
um, so yeah, David, no worries on that at all. Getting out of the purchase. Just make sure you have some language on the offer. And if you use the Land Geek generic offer, you shouldn't have an issue. But make sure you have some language on that offer that says that the completion of the deal is dependent upon
It's not a
um,
binding contract. You haven't even signed it.
right. John Geeky wants to know how to text you, Mike Zano.
He's. We can put the number up. What's our? We have a Land Geek, basically a Land Geek hotline. Let's put the number up.
So we have a Land Geek hotline. I don't think I can add a phone number to the YouTube comments. Um, John, you could try. John, if you don't mind trying, you could just
Oh, is
type
that
in.
because John wants to know about what he should talk to
Yeah,
us about? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He wants to know about what you got up your sleeve for flight school. So our
Awesome.
Land Geek hotline number is 608-387-8981.
All I can say is you won't need money to buy land. That should be good
There's
enough to make you
there's got to
excited.
be a way I should be able to like type that on the screen. I got to figure this out, but I don't know. I don't think there is.
When we go into the Facebook,
I can do
I
that here
think,
while,
are we in Facebook right now?
well, we're in. Yes, I did get it. 608. I'll put it in here. Next question from M Mori 24.
All
Thank you,
right,
sir,
M.
for
Maury 24.
thank you,
What do you
sir,
got?
for attending. Uh, Mike, what's your rough forecast for raw land appreciation in the next 5 years?
Honestly, I have no idea. But what I will tell you is it doesn't really matter because the land I buy now, say that it depreciates, I will have already sold it to somebody. And if the market crashes and they default on it, my cost basis has been dramatically reduced. I'll restructure it and I'll sell it for less. That's just the way that's going to roll. I know people who have done that already when the market, I wasn't in the business in a down market, so, but I know people who were, and I'm not concerned about it because of that. If it appreciates, great. I'm still going to be able to buy it 25 cents on the current dollar. So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but I know that I'm not concerned about it.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it either. And, I think it's a hard asset, right? They're not making any more of it. Um,
Yeah,
it's not like the dollar where we keep making more and more and more dollars uh, every every day, every year, that type of thing. So I think it's a safe investment. I think that if you look at, since I've been in the business for only 6 years, land has only continued to appreciate every year.
right.
I think Mark would say the same since, early on, since he's been doing this as well. He had maybe a little bit of a bump in 2009, 2010. But like you said, Mike, if you control the asset and maybe you're selling most of your properties on terms, I sell probably 75% of my properties on terms. Um,
Correct.
if people default on those properties, I can turn around and sell them at a discount if need be, because my cost basis is less on those by that time anyway. So hopefully that helps, Maury. Um, Jake Martin. All right, deal or no deal? I like this segment. Deal.
All
He
right.
just came up with a new segment for us, Mike. Deal or no deal?
Well, we've
You ready?
talked about this before. Let's hear it.
I think so. Uh,
Is he going to
so
present us with some information?
yeah, he made an offer on a property for $1,500.
Nice.
Offers accepted.
Perfect.
However,
Okay.
there are $4,000 in back taxes.
Okay.
Comps are 5 to 8 thousand.
Yeah, I'm out.
Deal or no deal?
I'm going to say no deal because I'm going to go with the lowest comp. I'm not going to go through all that hassle to make $1,000. And plus,
Right.
you got to get this person to agree to the $1 skittle before you can even entertain it. So what's the $1 skittle, Scott?
So the $1 Skittle, Jake Martin, is you're essentially, this guy is deeding you his property for $1.
Well, so
Uh,
that, I mean, I guess you could go that way if you will do it. I'm thinking that it might be difficult, but if you could get it for $1 and remove his burden, then you could go and sell it, and whatever you sell it for, you would, you know, you could then, in essence, pay the back taxes once it's sold. But still, that's a lot of back taxes on the properties we typically look at. That's probably a decade of back taxes. Who knows what's going on in terms of tax liens or potential tax lien sales? I, I'm just not liking it.
monthly fees at that point could be substantial, right? So yeah, to me too, Jake, I think I would probably pass on that deal. I think if it were an instance where you were certain that you could double your money cash, um, I would consider it. But I don't know if you'd be able to.
But think about how our mind is going to work. You said the comps of 5 to 8.
Right,
You're really hearing in your mind 8, but the reality is it could be 5.
right,
So we always have this un, um, unreasonable sort of expectation that it's going to sell for the higher number, but we have to look at the reality. You have to be like like a snake here, cold blooded. You got to look at the numbers and say, yeah, let's say if it goes for 5 and I'm in for 4, and there might be some more fees and transaction costs, recording deeds. Is it really worth it? Probably not.
right. Hopefully that helps, Jake. Uh,
Sorry to rain on that parade. Sorry, Jake.
you know what though, Jake? There's another one coming, so just keep at it.
That's right. That's the thing. There's
Um,
never a shortage of deals.
John Geeky, I'm going to give you the number one more time: 608-387-8981.
Yep. Text us now.
Land Geek
Text the
Hotline.
word freedom. Not just kidding.
Man of Tomorrow is here. Is that a Neil? Like, I think it
I don't
is.
know.
I
He's
think
Anil's a good guy. I just talked to Anil.
I think he just joined our Mighty Networks group as Man of Tomorrow,
I
and
love that name.
I think if I got the right guy, I think he joined flight school. So if that's a Neil, I love your pseudonym, but we want to know if it's you. Uh, and
Well, if he's trying to be like incognito, you just ruined
I
that.
just completely ruined it, didn't I?
Sorry,
It's like
Anil.
the time Mark told the world I had COVID.
Yeah, that was before everybody had COVID. You were like one of the first COVID people, and we're like, Mark, did you just do that live on the air? Yeah. Why? Never mind.
That was back when having COVID was a bit taboo. It wasn't normal yet.
Yeah, it
Um,
wasn't like everybody was getting it at the time.
so yeah, that was pretty funny. Uh, all
Looking
right,
back at
I think we're caught up. So if you guys have any other questions, please throw them in the chat. Any other struggles you want to talk about? Throw them in there. Any other
And
wins?
tonight we are celebrating the struggle. So if there's something you're struggling with, talk about it. Post it.
Yeah,
Let's celebrate your struggles. Let's take that negative and make it a positive. Tell us about your struggle.
I love it. Take the negative and make it a positive. We were just talking about this today, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you live in the gap or the gain? I'm telling you, you guys got to read this book.
Yeah, I gotta get that book. I haven't had read a good book in a while. I've been doing more of like the YouTube podcast thing.
No, that's good too. I've been listening to podcasts when I'm painting my walls in my office. But
Quite the painter, by the way. Looks great.
oh, thank you. That's nice.
Like a fine
Oh here.
Monet.
Oh, this is now.
I
uh,
think he just texted us. I think he got it right. I think we just
did you
got a
get it
text
right?
from him.
Okay, awesome. Um, so Julius has a question. Julius, I appreciate your question. We may not divulge exactly what our numbers are. What are your guys' passive income numbers? I've been watching you guys for over a year. What I will tell you is that it's very
Slowly.
common for people, if they follow the recipe in our business that is taught in flight school. Uh, and I mean, we have flight school students doing between 30 and 100 deals their first year. We have coaching clients going on to ten to $20,000 a month passive income in a couple
And hitting
years.
10K a month is not an uncommon event anymore. It's not something that is reserved for a few people. That's happening quite a bit. It's not only um, it's not only a potential. It's actually probable that you'll get there if you just. I mean, it's 50 deals at $200 a month, 100 deals at $100 a month. You can reverse engineer this, and um, so I would say the real question is what number is going to move the needle in your life,
Yeah.
and let's reverse engineer that number because we can do that. So who asked it? Because you should text us on the same line. We can talk
Yeah,
about real estate.
Julius, if you've been watching us for over a year, first of all, if you mean me and Mike, cheers to you, man, because sometimes these shows go off the rail. So cheers to you. If you've been listening to the podcast for a year, um, I would say there's a reason you keep coming back, right? Something is speaking to you. That's how it was for me. Um, and if you want to talk more, let's talk more. Let's talk more about how we can get you started. Because you don't need a ton of time. You don't need a ton of money. You do need to go in with a mindset, where, okay, I'm going to grow a land business and it's going to take me a while to grow a land business, right? It took this guy in the book 10 years to become a master sensei archer.
10 years is coming either way.
10 years is coming either way. Um, so, so yeah, I think, if the business speaks to you, but here's the other thing I would echo, I would add on to what you just said, Mike. Um, my first deal, I turned $700 into $2,700. I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I was a physical therapist trading my time for dollars. Do you think that first deal made a huge impact on my life?
Yeah.
Not only financially, but just emotionally and like proof of concept. And then a few weeks later, I got my first terms deal where I sold a property for a couple $100 down, and I think it was 130 a month. So now every month I have 130 bucks coming in. Well, that's going to pay for a nice meal for me and my family. And then you do it again and again, it's going to be a car payment. You do it a few more times, it's going to be a mortgage. You do it if you do it a number more times, you're going to replace your income.
It's what you're saying though is important. We don't want to forget the small wins because even an extra $500 a month coming in on a passive, that could change everything, right? That's paying a car, an auto loan, a car payment, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, 2,000 a month, 10 deals, $2,000 a month. That we
Yes.
focus on these bigger numbers, but these little numbers have power, extreme power.
Yeah, let's go back to Jesse Otterblad. He said he sold two properties today. Let's assume that Jesse's properties he sold today on terms were $150 a month, which is pretty average, for land geeks. Uh, he just added $300 a month to his income. He added 30, he gave himself today a $3,600 raise today, an annual raise of $3,600. I mean, you think of it that way, that's crazy. We had a good Black Friday. It was fun. Uh, and when you look at the numbers, I'm like, wow, we just gave ourselves a pretty good raise here for the next year. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Chelsea,
What's up, Chelsea?
nice to have you. She says she was thinking the same thing. She's been listening a year plus now. She considered something this earlier this week. Considered relisk earlier this week. She might be abbreviating there. It might be a typo, and I just might have had too many whiskeys to be able to interpret correctly.
Ask
But again,
Chelsea, are you working with the toolkit right now? Let us know where you're at.
yeah, let us know where you're at. And again, kudos to you, Chelsea. Uh, if you've been listening to us for a year,
Cheers.
Man. Um, all right, so Jesse's still watching. He gave us the number, but today was one cash deal for 4,000, and the other one was a terms deal for 350 a month. 490
Wow.
down, 499 down, 350 a month. That's a huge deal. That's
Imagine
awesome.
doing 10 of those, 3,500 a month,
Yeah,
4 grand a month.
yeah. So yeah, Chelsea, if you're thinking about the business, get in touch. Get in touch with us. We'd love to talk to you. Getting real estate license, no toolkit, she said. So she's considering real estate license earlier this week. So we have realtors in our community. Um, you could easily do this. Uh,
You could do both.
you
You
could
could
do both.
easily do both. No problem.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a lot of
Mike
time.
Mike's a full-time firefighter and a land investor. I
And
mean,
you were a full-time physical therapist, but what happened?
but I was able to quit my job as a result of this business. So, and now I work occasionally. Chelsea says maybe I should get in touch. Yeah, Chelsea, and if you're kind of in the information gathering stage, or you need more information, you need some case studies. We have a couple helpful case studies we can send you of some people who've been through our program here in the last year, where really they just had an hour a day and they followed the recipe, and these people did between 30 and 100 deals their first year. It's life changing. So
Yeah.
um, awesome. Well, we got a few more viewers now. I was able to get the video up in the Facebook group. Um, oh, here we go. From Man of Tomorrow, is there a program for managing payments from multiple people? So to clarify, are you uh, receiving payments from multiple people for one property? Um, you could set that up in GeekPay, I think. So uh, GeekPay, Man of Tomorrow, we all use to manage our notes, right? But
Yeah.
it's
So
it's it's your
simple.
typical one buyer deal, or maybe it's a husband wife or father son or that type of thing, and just one person is providing payment. That's the easiest way to go about it. I guess Mike hadn't thought about it, but I guess you could probably set uh, up two GeekPay accounts for two buyers of the same property and keep track of it.
Yeah. There's a way to be creative about it.
Yeah. So, but what I would say is, let's say the buyer came to me and said, okay, my brother wants to pay half a month, and I want to pay half a month, and can we do it separately? I would say to them, it would just be a lot easier if we could just do
Yeah.
one
Pay your
payment.
brother the cash and use one card.
Yeah. Yep. One card or one bank account. Yep. Um, awesome, Chelsea. She says she's ready to get started on life again. Uh, I mean, that sounds like a strong why for.
Yeah. Chelsea, text us. Text us on the number we put up earlier. Is it actually in the chat, or is it something you have
It,
to?
it can't. I can't put a phone number
Let me
or an
see if
email
I can get
address.
on there.
I can't put a phone number or an email address in YouTube.
Oh, she's in
Um,
YouTube.
she's in YouTube. Yeah. So Chelsea, if you or if Chelsea, if you've joined our Facebook group, the Land Geek Motivation and Wealth Creation group on Facebook, I did post it in the chat in there. But the Land Geek text hotline is 608 8981. Or I'm going to make this really easy on you. You guys email Mike at thelandgeek.com or Scott at thelandgeek.com. That's a little easier. Um, question from Julius. To get it started the right way, mailers, geek pay, title services, data, operating cost, So Mike, he's wondering about operating costs. To get started, it would be safe to say $1,000 overhead a month.
No, it's cheaper. When you're on your own, the only cost you have is your time, the mailings, and the property acquisition, right? So you're going to mail about 100 mailers a week. That's about, let's round it up. It's less than 70 cents, but $70 a week. So you're looking at about um, $300 a month, say, right? That you're going to have in mailings and then your property acquisition. So that's the beautiful thing about growing this business in a steady fashion that as you start to do deals, you can start to outsource these different processes. And yeah, at a certain point, you probably pay about $1,000 to your VAs, but at that point, you'll be making triple or quadruple that in your passive income. So it's an easy adjustment.
And as far as paying for data, there's a lot of free data out there. Um, you could pay $47 a month to DataTree and get 470 names a month. Um, you could do your own due diligence, or you could use a cheap due diligence service like landvaforyou.com. They'll do a due diligence report for you for 20 bucks. So even still, you're looking at around $500, Julius. You could keep your expenses $500 or less a month, for sure. Um, the other thing you could do, we talk a lot about this, is you could buy a property from another land investor on terms. Buy property from me or another land investor for $100 a month,
That's the
and
land arbitrage. That is, so for some of you who don't know what arbitrage is, it's basically you control a property for a small monthly payment. Typically, the payment that you're making is half of what it's worth in the open market. Paying $100 a month, you can sell it for $200 a month, and your only cash outlay is that monthly payment. And we have people inside their first month selling properties when they're buying them that way, so they really have no cost basis. So it's an infinite return, and it's insane. Uh, that's why I said if you have no money, always focus on mailing. If you have limited money, focus on mailing. Control a deal, and then we'll get you funding. Right? You can look for there's ways to get funding out there, but the controlling the deal is number one.
Joshua Hernandez, nice to have you here. So he's wondering about the term land acquisition. Is that referring to title companies and whatnot? So maybe Mike clarify for Joshua the processes involved in land acquisition. Give us like a 30-second Land Geek fast there, and also like title companies. Do we need them?
Yeah, so an acquisition is basically once you have a signed purchase and sale agreement or if somebody accepts your offer, you're going to go into a quick due diligence phase to make sure that there's not an over abundance of back taxes and make sure you're talking to the correct person who owns the property. And then really what it is we use our software, GeekPay. It creates the deed for you. You send them the deed. They go and have that deed notarized. It's like a two-page document. It's not. It's very simple. And once you get that back, record it with the county. Once you're doing this for a while, you realize you can join a service like Simplifile. So if I was working with Scott Bossman, I'd say, Scott, here's the deed. Go get it notarized. Send me a clear copy showing me that you've notarized the deed so that I will then send you payment. But that copy he sends me, I can record. And so I'm now the owner and I can feel very confident in paying him. It's an extremely uh, simple, straightforward process. And it's just amazing how I've, I mean, I've owned property for like literally owned a property for a couple hours before I was no longer the owner. Like I bought it, sold it to somebody else, so I was only in my name for like an hour or two. I mean, that's the reality. That's the power of this business.
Awesome. And Joshua, we teach you how to self-close. So typically, any deal $5,000 and less, we're not using title companies.
Yeah, no title
Um,
needed. We could do enough title
yep,
review on our own.
yep. Uh, Digno Dano. Hey guys, what's up? Okay, let's do a little back and forth here, Mike.
All right.
You're gonna name one and then I'll name one, okay? Top
All right.
7 best websites to market your vacant land parcels. 7.
All right. Land Moto.
Um, Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. I will go with Land Flip.
I'm going to go with, does my buyers list count
Yeah.
as a website?
Yeah.
Or, all right, buyers list.
Land Century.
Um, Land Watch is expensive, but
And
it's a site.
finally, Neighbors.
Neighbors, that's another one. And you know what? There's a few more. Craigslist. People are doing more deals on Craigslist now.
Yep, they're back.
For a while, it was dry, man. Some people are going back to eBay, so that's 9. Some people are on Zillow, even though I got kicked off. That's 10. 10. A
I love
lot
it.
of places. A lot of places. So hopefully that helps. Digno Dano. Julius, $20 due diligence report. Is that from a VA company in the Philippines? So there are 2 primary services that Land Geeks use. There's parcelreview.com. I believe they are Philippine based. And then there's Land VA 4U. That's with a number 4 and a letter U. And I'm not sure where their VAs are, but
Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah. Those are 2 great services. Or you hire your own uh,
Yeah.
for $5 an hour.
It's very doable. You just
Very
have to
doable,
believe it and then take the action.
right? Awesome. Well, we're coming up on an hour,
Flew by.
so it did fly by. It was fun. We had some nice questions, um, some good interaction. Anybody in there, throw in the chat, like, here's what I'm curious about. Like, how much passive income monthly would make a difference to you? Just throw it in the
Yeah.
chat.
Let's hear that. That's a great question. Let's hear that. Let's reverse engineer that.
Like, what would make a difference to you guys? We talked about it a little bit earlier. How much passive income a month would make a difference to you? Throw it in the chat. Be interesting to see what we get here. But I would just say, as always, Mike and I we're very passionate about this business. We'd love to talk to any of you about it because it has changed our lives. It is a powerful business. The numbers are crazy. You can literally automate and delegate the entire business. Man of Tomorrow, $3,000. Uh, that would be a level passive income for him that would be substantial, maybe change his life. Lucas, $5,000. Chelsea, $5,000. Mike, these are numbers that they're putting in the chat that we have people getting to in 1 year.
Yeah. It's very achievable. I mean, listen,
5K, 2K.
we heard someone tonight doing 350 a month on a deal. 10 deals, 3,500. 20 deals, 7,000. I mean, 20 deals, it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch.
Right.
And every deal gets better and easier.
Yeah. Chad, his goal is 2,500 by the end of June. He's coming up on military retirement in 3 years and looking for full replacement. So $10,000 a month or better in 3 years. Chad, very doable.
Very
Very
doable,
doable.
not a stretch, not a stretch. But you know what? You have to embrace the fact that first thing first, you have to educate yourself on how we do what we do. That is number one. If you try to figure it out on your own, there are some people out there that are crafty enough to do that, but most of us, the time we would spend, which is real money, would be pretty big, right? To try to figure it out, make the mistakes. So talk to us. We'll tell you a proven path to get there that's quick and efficient.
Awesome. Uh, so I guess I would close in saying this. Here are the numbers I read for, an amount of passive income monthly that would make a difference to people. We don't even know what that means, right? Like, but it'd make a difference to them. 3,000, 5,000, 5,000, 1,000, 5,000, 2,000, 2,500 by the end of June. Like, those are
All
all
doable. They're all
those are all
realistic.
doable. They're all realistic. If you do what, Mike Zano?
If you chop wood and carry water, if you're mailing your market.
You just got to mail and you got to market. And we teach you how to mail. We teach you the county research. We teach you the correct pricing. We teach you how to mail. Um, and and you can get to the point where you're bringing in those numbers in 1 year. And then what happens when you 10 times that? And when I say
Oh,
10 times, you guys might be thinking that's impossible or that sounds lofty. It's not. It's not at all. So, and that's where the genius in Scott Todd comes in because he has 10 times this, and he's a great one to learn from. John says, I honestly don't need the money for a while, just want to build as fast as possible. If I have to do DoorDash to get extra funds, fine. My VA pension is good. So that's the other thing, that's a whole nother conversation, which we can get into at a different time. But, you know, uh, people are comfortable with different things. With you know, so that's awesome for you, John. Chelsea says, yes, support and consistency. You got to have both to thrive. That's exactly right. So awesome. Thank you guys so
like that.
much, Mike.
Support and consistency. Yeah.
Support and consistency. Yep. What night are we doing next week, Mike Zano?
Ooh, we could do either night.
Really?
Wait a minute. Let's do Thursday.
Okay. Let me think
We'll
here.
do Wednesday.
No, Thursday's fine. No, yes, Thursday's fine. I was thinking the next Thursday is Spider-Man. I'm going to Spider-Man.
Oh, it's a
Um,
new one?
yeah, the new one. So next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Spread the word. I still think that we're down on viewers a little bit since we had the time change, Mike Zano.
We live in the rerun.
uh,
But we
quick
hope you all
question
have a
from
great
D.
night. Oh, let's hear it.
Okay, quick question from Dino. What is best to go to? What is best to go for fishing or mining? 2 to 3 counties or more than 10 counties?
2 to 3 all day
Two to
long.
three.
More like
Two to
one
three
to
all day
two.
long. And Dino, we have a lot of podcasts on that too. So if you go to the Land Geek Roundtable podcast, or maybe just Google search Land Geek Roundtable County Research, something like that. And then Julius has a question for you, Mike Zano: engine or truck? Are you on the fire? Are you on the engine?
I'm on the
Fire engine?
truck.
He's on the truck.
I'm a trucker.
All right, man. Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for coming. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye bye.